two things in this here. I'm going to show you how to create the schema and put it in your WordPress, and I'm going to show you something else. We're going to go look at this on various devices. So what we're going to do is, we did this earlier, so I'm just going to just do, I don't know, person. Okay, here's the name, job title, professional, my website, https://moosifer.com, street address, where I grew up, P.O. Box, no P.O. Box, Detroit, Michigan 48228. Don't go here to see my old house. My email address. Phone number. Date of birth. May 24th. Okay, so you can see that for this, it created the JSON-LD script for search engines. Now, in order to include this on every single page, you'd go to your header, because this is where all the header information is going to go. So, in order for it to show up on every single page, in the header, you put it in the header, because no matter what template is loaded, it's always going to load the header. So, if you have like a Google Analytics code, put it in the header, because every single page that loads will load this header.php. Alright, that's important. See everything, including up on the body. Ooh, look, there's a body class. Alright, so I'm going to upload that header. Here it is. And so now when we see our beautiful site, you can see that it also includes the LD JSON. And so, once again, every time you want to have something on every single page, put it in the header. Now, if you want something in the footer of every page, then you put it in the footer, because every page that loads is going to have this. Okay. I guess as long as I'm looking here, I might as well remove that code. See, because the HTML page ends with the footer. It begins, let me save this, it begins with the header.php, that's all the head stuff, and then look, all of a sudden it stops, it goes to index.php. See, let me show you. You see? So the header leaves off here, it runs through the body code, and in the end it goes to the footer, which is here. And so all three pages load with every page that loads on WordPress. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Probably should know that. So I'm going to move the header over, and now that I move the footer over, it's going to take that screen size off. Now, so that's one thing. Let me just close this. Yeah, I'll close this. Okay. So if we refresh, and if we were to look at the footer and the header, we'd see our changes. Okay, Now, what's cool about this next step is you'll be able to test your site on all devices. You know, how many of us have every iPad out there and every phone and every size screen? And yet it's important to test your responsiveness on all devices. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the URL to my site, and under resources there is this test on several devices. So if you click that, you go to this site and you paste it in, and it will show you what your site looks like on all devices. So on a 15-inch notebook, it's going to look like this. On a 12-inch notebook, it's going to look like this. 10-inch notebook, it's going to look like this. On a 24-inch notebook, it's going to look like this, gigantuous, with some what you call it on the sides. So that's on the screen. But what about how about tablets? How's this going to look on a Samsung? All right, pretty cool. All right, let's see how it's going to look on a Kindle Fire. Okay, this is how it's going to look on a Fire. Let's see how it's going to look on a Apple iPad Pro. All right, so these are pretty wide. Here's how it looks on what you call it, a Kindle HD. Now, but that's not all, because look, you can see what it's going to look like on, let's say, a BlackBerry. So it turns really small, and you can see how it's going to look on a BlackBerry. You can see how it's going to look on a G35, and it's actually functional. You can look at it on an iPhone. Here's an iPhone 6. Here's an iPhone 6 and 7 Plus. Now, what's really cool, so you can see that it stacks up. It's no longer done in columns. But what happens if somebody turns their phone sideways? Well, you click this, and you can see if they put their phone sideways, you get the two columns. When they have it vertical, it looks like this. When they have it horizontal, it looks like this. So as you can see, this is very handy. You can turn on and off scrolling. But who doesn't have scrolling on their phone, you know? Anyway, so there it is. You can test your Motorola. Do they still make phones? Holy mackerel. So it looks like, oh look, the width is 240. I wouldn't worry about that. That just means another media screen. And so there you have it. So you can test. You can test to see how your site is going to look on various devices. Yeah, you know what? Once you get here, you're going to just play around. I want to try it, a Kindle Fire. Ooh, wow, that's a Kindle Fire. They have such a wide screen.